This is us, back when we first met 4 years ago. I'd spent the past 2 summers diving every day to collect data on coral reefs in Honduras, and in doing so had not only overcome my fear of the ocean, but found a peacefulness I wasn't expecting. Now, on our first holiday together in Bali, I had just convinced Jake to conquer his. If you've watched any of our vlogs, you'll know we're always in or near the ocean. While we love swimming along a coral reef, looking down and seeing nothing but deep blue scares us. We haven't yet shaken the fear of deep bodies of water. Overcoming our fears and challenging ourselves is a huge part of why we travel. So we're taking a trip down memory lane, not far from the place that cemented our new relationship on that first holiday, where the professionals at Nusa Freedive are going to teach us everything we need to know to finally feel completely at ease in the water. We're taking the Molchanovs Wave One freediving qualification, and the course material got us excited.
So we wanted to get a good idea of how long we can actually hold our breath for before we start any of the training. It's like a battle to stop my brain from thinking about the fact that I'm not breathing.
In just 3 days, we'll be diving down a length equivalent to 10 doors, 4 giraffes, 4 two-story homes, a total of 20 meters, which should take us around 40 seconds. Meet Gaston, our instructor. Here, he's taking us through the itinerary for the next 3 days of our course. Gas went over the science and the theory behind freediving. Then he showed us the different types of breathing and had us practice holding our breath, which we both found surprisingly difficult at first.
Shake, doing with the right hand the signal when you have the contraction, okay?
What Gas just said was something we were about to practice and blew our minds. We just learned that the involuntary spasms you feel when you hold your breath are not because you're running out of oxygen. They're simply your body wanting to release the carbon dioxide it would normally release when you breathe. So here in the pool, we're signaling to each other when we start to feel contractions and pushing ourselves to hold our breath for 10 seconds longer.
Slowly, grab it here.
10 more seconds.
It's fine, it's the first attempt.
Okay.
For 10 seconds more if you can.
I don't know what.
Relaxing, good work, Shake. You're doing amazing. Slowly. Recovery breathing.
Yes. So maybe next time when you meet your
Oh, the 2 minutes, boy.
Nice.
Cool.
When it came to my turn, Jake stopped paying attention for a second and let my snorkel go underwater, which resulted in this. But after trying again, I managed about 2 minutes. The next thing we learned was how to rescue your buddy in the unlikely event of a shallow water blackout.
Heavy.
Support with the grab the neck, grab his neck. Yes.
Breathe.
Okay. Name, blow, breathe. Remember?
Jake, you okay? Jake? Breathe. Jake?
It's not breathing, rescue breath. Change hands.
Okay.
Not from here. Grab.
Breathe.
And pinch the nose and one rescue breath,
one
mouth
rescue
to mouth. Only one rescue breath.
Breathe.
And again, release the nose. Again, Jake, breathe. Jake, breathe.
Jake, breathe. Vincent, breathe.
Vincent, breathe. Vincent.
We had a lot of fun acting, but we also felt so much better knowing this important procedure and how important these steps are for signaling to the body that it's out of the water and safe to breathe again.
Francesca, breathe. Deep, breathe. Change hands, Shake. Change hands. Shake your hand. Cleaning. And then mouth to mouth. One respect.
Breathe. She's back so quick. Breathe.
After a delicious lunch, we had to do something pretty gross but also satisfying. In freediving, clear passages mean clear equalization.
Coming out the other side.
Oh, that went down the back of my throat. I think I swallowed more of that than I could.
warm salty water.
We had to get rid of as much mucus as we could before we went out into the open water for the first time. At this point, Jake and I were very nervous despite everything we'd learned, so we were happy to watch Gas demonstrate how to go down the line properly whilst we settled our minds. For our first dive to 10 meters, we'll be descending down the rope by pulling on it and ascending by doing the same. Jake's nerves clearly got the better of him on his first try. At the surface, Gas takes the time to explain to Jake exactly what went wrong and how to correct it. When it came to my turn, I found the hardest thing was actually trying to equalise as well as pulling myself down the rope and focusing on kicking at the same time. Trying to focus on all of these things made me completely forget that I was diving down into the deep blue abyss that I was so scared of. It was only when I reached the surface that I realised what I'd just done, and I was so proud of myself.
Record the breathing. Always record the breathing.
For 12 meters, we're going to be doing constant weight, whereby we'll be going down and up the line without holding on to it. A long time ago, we received a comment on a vlog that said something along the lines of never ever duck dive with a snorkel in your mouth. And at the time we didn't pay it much attention, but we learned in the course that you should always take your snorkel out before you dive down in case of a shallow water blackout.
We have a snorkeling. For safety reasons.
I was literally thinking about it before I did it. I was like, remember to take the snorkel out, and then I was like, I just went straight back.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
I knew that was a habit that I needed to break, but it would have to wait until tomorrow. After the theory, we headed to the pool where we're going to be doing a type of freediving called dynamic. For this, we'll be diving horizontally for a distance, in our case 30 meters. To streamline our bodies for this, we need not just a weighted belt, but also a weighted neck collar. In order to complete 30 meters, we need to do 2 lengths along the line. The thing that we both found is that the moment you start thinking about all the things that are going wrong, or focusing too much on moving and turning or kicking with your legs, you suddenly find it harder and harder to hold your breath.
Well done.
Yeah, I saw it.
If you're feeling up to it, maybe pause the video here and hold your breath with me the whole way along the line. How did you find that? Let me know in the comments.
Good. You go fast. Good. Yeah, you missed the line. Yes. I know. Not really open in here, so this should be like close in here, open, wider like the hips, and then you put. Yes.
Learning this more efficient way of swimming wasn't a requirement, but it was a lot of fun, and I completely froze. For some reason my body just couldn't understand how it worked. I highly recommend looking this up on YouTube and giving it a go yourself.
You look so confused.
After conquering the hardest part of freediving, we took a well-earned break on the beach. Back at the school, Gas ran us through a stretching routine to open up our diaphragms and prepare us for our next open water dive. Today, we'll be pulling ourselves down the rope just like we did before, but this time we'll be pausing at the bottom until we feel those contractions start. Only then will we ascend back to the surface. Before every dive, we hang on this float and do what's called a relaxation, and this can be different for everyone, but essentially involves breathing normally and calming your mind. For this dive, I decided to do something that Gas had told me about. It's called visualization. You visualize every step from start to finish. It turns out this was the thing that helped me shed that bad habit of keeping my snorkel in my mouth. Pausing at the bottom at 12 meters felt counterintuitive at first, but the exercise made us realize that we have full control and contractions don't necessarily mean you have to panic. Next, we all practiced saving Gas from around 10 meters. Despite the fact that he was acting, we all felt panicked at the idea of having someone's life in our hands in open water. But the more we practiced with him, the more comfortable we felt. If you had asked me yesterday to take on the important role of buddy for someone else, then I probably would have been scared. But after learning and practicing today, I felt completely at ease in the water and I was actually really starting to have fun. We ended today's training on a high by both managing just over 15 meters. Even though we'd met the requirements for the Wave One course by diving down past 12 meters, both of us were eager to get down to 20. We did a couple warm-up sets. Whilst I waited for the others to do their dives, floating on the surface, I began to feel more and more seasick. I threw up right where everyone was swimming. I decided to take myself back to the boat, which unfortunately meant that I was not going to be getting my 20-meter dive today. Nor did I want to, because I spent the rest of the time on the boat throwing up over the side. Luckily for Jake, he doesn't get seasick, so he went down and on his first try managed to do 20 meters. If you'd have told me 4 years ago that the Jake I knew then, who panicked when he held his breath for more than a few seconds underwater, would be diving down to 20 meters on one single breath, I wouldn't have believed you. The world champion freediver Umberto Pellizzari said, "The scuba diver dives to look around. The freediver dives to look inside." Before taking this course, neither of us would have understood what that sentence really means. Scuba diving helped us see how beautiful and unthreatening the ocean can be. But freediving's made us conquer something a lot deeper than that. Our own internal monologue. The one that tells us to fear the unknown instead of find peace in it. Freediving isn't just a niche sport. It's something that you should consider if you want to feel more comfortable in the ocean. Since Jake doesn't like doing voiceovers, I'll summarize what he told me. Before he started this course, he'd been feeling stressed. With every dive, he felt like that was being chipped away. By the end of the course, he finally understood why you'd want to dive down a line into nothingness. It's a calm and stillness neither of us have ever experienced. Freedivers are known to have reduced levels of stress and anxiety compared to your average person. So much of what we learnt from this course is going to benefit us not just in the water but on land too, and frankly has changed our life. This was all made possible by the incredible team at Freedive Nusa, and we want to say a special thanks to Gas for being so patient and so encouraging the whole time. We couldn't have done it without him.